cost $4.50.
Back in 1968, when we used to have to make sock babies with our nylons. Just kidding.
Actually, I'm not really kidding, because this was like the thing to do when I was younger, was make these sock babies. I mean, I owe it all to my parents. My mom was really amazing with doing this kind of stuff with us when we were kids, and now, like, obviously it's kind of passed on to my adult years. But yeah, these sock babies were one thing I definitely remember. And then it kind of led to doing this Mandrake in the same kind of fashion as the sock babies are done. You're more or less just weaving your thread in and out, back and forth, to create the dimples and to create like more tension between the thread and the stocking itself, to give that kind of impression look. So with this, it was, I started with the mouth, so I knew exactly where I wanted everything to be. And then the nose piece was just, once again, a weave around, and you're creating a circle, and then you pull the thread to get that tight little ball, or the dimple. You can see I'm using really dark thread. I did this because I am lazy. I am not willing to go buy color, skin tone matched thread. I just used what I have, and I had brown, so I was like, it's an earthy thing, it's fine. The next step I did was the brow, and this was once again just to kind of like adjust where I wanted the face to be and whatnot. Don't worry about your Mandrake's head being like a flat pancake, because I kind of stuffed it in the back a little bit eventually when I was done. Further down the line you'll get to that, but for this case I wouldn't worry too much about it. The mouth was just the same thing. You're just going back and forth to create the dimples and the mouth. Don't worry about what the back looks like. Mine clearly looked like crap. You're gonna cover it up. Same with the neck, you're just gonna go all the way around and then pull it nice and tight so it gives the crease of the neck. And make sure you're tying off your thread, because I didn't and it kept pulling through, and yeah, I'm a fool. I lost out on that little game of thread play. I stuffed the body a little bit too much, so I had to pull some of the stuffing out, but I did want to put some beans in his tush, so I used some of those perler, or what are they called, those like little plastic pellets, and I put them in his tush and then just tied off the end. This, what I'm doing right here, is the arm. I just had a spare piece of the nylon and I sewed off one end and then just pulled it nice and tight, so it kind of had like a little scrunchy on the end, and then sewed it to the body just underneath the neck. And I did that on both sides, filled them with beans. I did try it with foam or fluff the first time, but it was too puffy, so I really liked the idea of it being like really floppy and stuff, so I ended up filling it with beans and just tying off the end. I try to do as little sewing as possible because, once again, I am lazy. The legs were a mixture of beans and fluff because the legs were kind of either too saggy or too big, so I kind of just did a mixture and it worked out very nicely. The second leg, the first leg was the leg from this nylon, the second leg was one that I had sewn on just like the arms. What you see me doing here is just tying on some twine. I had kind of like spread it apart a little bit, and then I did it around the arms and the legs, and I did a little bit around like on the neck area too. Not the neck, sorry, it was on the head area too, just kind of glued it to the stocking itself. This was the leaves that I had made. I had this like leftover white fabric. It was kind of more of like a cottony material, and so I cut leaf shapes, and you don't see me painting them, but they were just painted with plain water green acrylic paint, and I just kind of blotched them. You can go to the dollar store and buy fake leaves, and you can save this step, and it will only cost $1. For me, I'm like, hey, I'll save the $1. This was another end of the nylon that I am gluing onto the head just to kind of cover the back, and also to give them a little bit more of that, like, so you have something to pull them out of the thing. And I once again glue gunned it on because I'm lazy like that. These are pipe cleaners that I had, and I did little swirls on them, and these were supposed to be like the branches that were on the head so you can pull them up as well. And I did probably about, I would say like 7 of these, all different lengths, and you want to put them a little bit everywhere, wherever you think looks good. And you can see I wrapped some twine around the head there, and that was just to kind of give it a little bit more texture. So that's where you can see all the circly pipe cleaners and whatnot. Then next up was just gluing the leaves on. So like I said, you can go buy dollar store leaves. I made these and I just painted them with like green paint and water. It was really super simple to do. And then just glue them on sporadically wherever you think looks good. Try to put them a little bit more in the front because you're going to be seeing it from the front more than you're going to see it from the back. Now, you'll hear the pot story in the end when I start talking about it, but other than that, this is felt that I just had traced around the size that I needed, and then I had doubled it up with a piece of fun foam, black fun foam, just so then it was a little bit stiffer, so when the thing came out, the Mandrake came out, it wasn't pulling on the foam or on the felt too much. And I did cut it a little bit big, so it's better to cut too big and then have to cut it down. So I did have to trim it up a little bit to try to fit it in the pot. And getting it in the pot was the hardest thing to do this whole project. I was like about to rip my hair out because I'm like, just get in there, that's fit! But it wasn't fitting. So when you do it, may the odds be ever in your favor. I had a hard time getting it in, and there was glue everywhere. But do what you can. I mean, you can use my technique or you can do it differently. Mine was a disaster, but I honestly didn't care if it wasn't even because it's supposed to be dirt and I was going to cover it up with moss anyway. Like you can see, you can always fix problems, and that's what I did here. This moss I picked from my front lawn, so it cost me $0, which is what I like to hear. And I just hot glued it on, and that was basically it. Shove your Mandrake inside, and then you're ready to, you know, pull them out again after you just put them in. Makes sense. There you go. You can kind of see an overall view of what he looked like. He turned out really cool, and yeah, I'm very happy with it. He's got a little bit of junk in the trunk, so he's a bit hard to pull out of the pot, but other than that, he's cool. All right, good luck.
So today is one of those days that I really wish I had more time to do like a cool presentation on this, but I gotta work a real job, so when it comes down to it, this kind of gets last priority, but I love doing it, so I want to get it out as fast as possible. So, without further ado, here comes your Mandrake. Ooh. I actually took a little bit longer on doing this project because I bought too small of a pot and then I didn't have time to go get a bigger pot. So finally today I picked up a bigger pot, and it was just a dollar store pot, something really inexpensive. My big butt Mandrake finally fit inside the pot, and I was able to achieve all that I wanted to achieve with it. So without further ado, here he comes. See, he's got a big butt. Whoa. Pretty cool, eh? Fits right in there. His creepy little face. He's got a really flat head, but that's okay. You only really see him from the front. But he got a huge butt! Anyway, that's what he looks like, and then the pot's a separate piece, obviously. Material cost was maybe around $5 for me, but this is with already owning stuff like the pipe cleaners and the stocking. I think I had to buy that, and it was about $1 or $1.50 at the dollar store, and I bought the bucket for $3, and then I used moss that I picked from my front lawn and felt and fun foam, and that was about it. So there's your two pieces, your Mandrake and your pot, and it fits inside. You have to like really wiggle them to get them back in. But I think he turned out pretty neat. It was very, very easy to do, super inexpensive, and it kind of brought me back to the days that my mom made us do these as crafts as kids. So I should see if I can find that book. Now look at it. Look at these little babies. They're so cute. That's exactly what it reminded me of. This book cost $4.50.
Back in 1968, when we used to have to make sock babies with our nylons.
Just kidding. Anyway, this is where I got the idea from, plus Pinterest, and then I put it all together. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. If you'd like to subscribe, I'd love to have you. And if you want to check me out on Instagram, my Instagram is the same as my YouTube account, which is GGAETZZ. And any requests, feel free to throw them out there. I know this wasn't a request, but I thought with Harry Potter, the new book and everything coming out, I was like, this would be kind of neat. I also really want to do a wand, and I had a couple Harry Potter requests, so I really enjoy Harry Potter. I think I might do a wand next. I don't really know. I kind of got something else today that I might be brewing up for next week, so we'll see. Anyway, have a good time, or a good day. Good night. Yeah.